And we're back with the AK experience. One time. Shout out to Kev.
K. Shout out to Austin. That's the A.
You know what
I'm
I
the
mean?
K.
And
This is no clue with A and K because we
don't have no clue about what we doing. We make it work
we
every
just
single.
we making it happen.
Make
We
it happen.
making it work. So we talking about customer experience, and I don't know how deep I can go with problematic clients. Like,
Let's go into it, because I think
okay,
that there are many business owners who really don't know how to deal with
shoot, I might learn something.
problematic
I might learn
clients.
something.
Look, I think every day that we in business, we learn something, right?
Okay, but we don't, but we don't really had a conversation.
Yeah, we never
Like
have it.
that.
I think this is part of the conversation that business owners really want to have,
Yeah,
but struggle with having because they want to have a space. But just
that's
know
true
that
too.
you have a safe space with us. From a business standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, talk about what you focus on when working with clients to try to make the experience as great as possible, right?
So I know I don't even remember like complaining about a specific customer or anything, but there was a guy that I graduated with, and I was telling him about, I don't know, something I was dealing with. And he was like, one thing that I've learned is you need to talk to your customers, potential clients or whatever, like they're kindergartners. And I was like, what? And he was like, dude, there's so many, education levels, and there's so many demographics that you're going to be dealing with. Like, everybody wants to look good. We have the power and control to make people look good. So, would you use patience with a kindergarten? Would you
Absolutely.
thoroughly explain each
Every
step
step,
and
yeah,
aspect?
that's good.
Would you smile? Would you, so
That's really
like
good.
from jump, and it's not like, oh, you got dumb clients, but it's more of a standpoint of like being
Communication.
very welcoming, very friendly, and that kind of sets that first impression. So yes, when it comes to client experience, that gentle but very, I'm looking for the right word. It's just clear communication.
Right.
Clear communication. So from there, I'm trying to see what the vision is. Like, what's the end goal? People a lot of times will hit me and say, I need pictures.
Picture man, how much for this? I'm like, okay, like, can you tell me a little bit more about what you need? That way we can.
All I need is 2 pictures.
Oh,
I
man.
get those.
Oh, listen. And it's never 2 pictures, right?
Never.
Because usually what happens is either they get excited and want to take more, or they need time to warm themselves up, and the 2 is never it. So if you're one of those people out there that says, yo, I just need 2 pictures, you never just need to. There's only been one client I have ever seen who has just needed 2 pictures, and it was my frat brother who was needing something like for a military thing.
Okay.
He's like, yo,
Yeah.
I legit just need this pose like this so I can send it off. Actually, it was 2 people. One shout out to Jocelyn Parham. She said, I just need an image to send to our chapter for some kind of recognition she got.
Okay.
And legit,
Yeah.
that's all she needed
Yeah.
was just the one look.
Yesterday I actually only shot 20 pictures.
You blinked. I blinked, and she was like,
I shot 20 pictures. I showed her maybe 3 different times in between our headshot session, and she was like, I think I'm good. I like what I see. And she was gone, and I was like, man, I honestly wish there was more of an experience,
Right.
because you look nice. You came all the way here. I don't know where she came from, but she made her way here, and it was just like, hey man, as long as you're good,
As long as you're happy.
yeah, as long as you're happy. So a lot of times people don't necessarily know what they're looking for when it
Yeah.
comes to what we have to offer, and we offer a wide range of things. I really try to, like, all right. Well, I'm saying but I'm a team. So shout out to my wife. Megan has, for like the past like 7-8 years, she's just allowed me to be creative. And sometimes, like, a lot of times I'm thinking that's what the customer wants from me. Like I
That's the end part, but then there's
right.
other elements like in between there.
So when they're telling me what they're looking for, I'm the type that likes to work backwards. So I'm like, hey, you want pictures, but when do you need them by? Is this a post for a birthday? Is this a graduation? Is this a senior? Is this engagement photos? So when do you need them by? So from when do you need them by to when do we need to shoot? Because I'm gonna need a little bit of time to edit.
To get everything in there.
And then do you need to order an outfit? Do we need to select a place? Because a lot of times, I mean, before we got this space, everything I shot was outside. Like I didn't really shoot anything indoors. So it's like, all right, are you looking for Graffiti Alley? Are you looking for Swan Harbor?
Right.
Are you looking for Jerusalem Mill? Are you looking for the lighthouse? Like
I haven't been to none of them this year yet.
Oh
man.
yeah. No,
none of them this
we
year.
are indoor gang.
Yeah,
yeah.
We've
We've been inside.
Me. Yeah,
we inside. No, I actually somebody asked me today, like, yo, are you like taking outdoor sessions? I'm like, I haven't stopped taking anything. I'm taking weddings.
we shoot it all now.
Yeah, I'm still
Rent's due
taking
on the
weddings.
first.
I'm still taking photo booth. I'm still shooting outdoor sessions. It's just, I guess, what people see is what people are going to ask for. And right now, we've just been inside. So,
So to pitch it, share a client experience that was a little bit more challenging and caused you to either stretch yourself or really reevaluate putting things in place.
so currently, like right now, it's like not that bad. And maybe I got a
But what do you attribute that to? Because there's a reason why.
What do you
it's
mean?
not that bad.
Because I know what it comes with. I know what I'm trying to do, and so right now I'm doing a lot of sports teams. Yesterday I shot a softball team inside someone's house. Very nice house.
I saw the BTS of that.
Yeah, very nice house, but it's still someone's house.
Right.
So then there's something that I have to do with that. Throughout the week, like I was shooting with I shot a softball team. I shot a lacrosse team. I shot 6 cheer teams. I shot 6 basketball teams, like all last week. So what ends up happening is the coach or the commissioner gets tired of fielding these questions, and he gives my number to 120 parents.
Without fail.
Gives them the email. And of course, like email is a little easier of communication. But when I'm getting like the text messages and they're like, hey, my son plays for the Lakers. Where can I see the pictures? I'm like, does he play with LeBron? Does he play with Kareem?
Is he in LA?
Does he? Yeah. Like, is he like? So there's like 8U, and then there's like 12U. And I'm like, all right. So first, I'm like reading. I'm like, look, we're gonna. So my communication, when it comes to me, my communication could be better. My wife, she's usually on it, but her stuff is taken off. So me, for the longest time, I didn't like to deliver bad news, and I'm like, if I don't deliver the bad news, it's still bad news. Like no response is just as good as a bad, or it's worse. Right. It's worse than a bad. Like even if I give them a bad response, they know that I'm responsive. They know that something is coming up, even if it's not the time frame that they want or the amount of images that they want. So one thing that has helped with that is just keeping it a stat. They said the truth will set you free. And I just had to tell a parent, like, hey, I know we shot last week. We did let them know 3 to 4 weeks is the span for getting all your photos back, but the online gallery will be up in a couple days. And while I'm like, I wish I could tell them today, but there's just...
It's what it is. It's not enough time.
We're getting around that. We do our thing a little bit, and so, we're just, we're thanking people for their patience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, just a lot of the teams, I can say right now I'm shooting for a school, and we're owed bread. Like, that's getting under my skin a little bit.
Major bread, or...
I mean, what do you deem? Do you deem
$1? $1 is major bread. Somebody owe you $1.
Well, then it's like 2,500 major issues.
Oh,
yeah, and it's like we got a working relationship, and it's almost
but you also
like
got to understand, like with schools, it's like net 30 and stuff like that, so they have different.
Well, they send checks, and it's so I'm like, I'm checking I'm checking the email, checking the mailbox, like it's tax time.
Right.
All right, I know it'll be in here today. Oh, I don't have to check. So it's like I'm still going down to the school with a smile on my face. Like, all right, I got another sport I'm shooting for y'all, and y'all like the work. Like, can we? And what's so tough is like the person that I'm meeting for these sessions is not the person that I'm communicating with. And the person I'm communicating with is not the person that is cutting the check.
Oh, it's layers.
So it's definitely like layers. And I'm like just one person. So I shot 40 girls. And then I'm dealing with the coach. And then I'm dealing with the AD. And then I'm dealing with marketing. And I'm dealing with, like, so it's like, it's been a tougher experience because it's like, all right, I know y'all owe me. I know y'all got me. Y'all good for it.
Y'all check's clear.
But I'm like kind of working for free right now. And so I shoot it. And then when the check comes, I start to edit and stuff like that. They gonna make, they're gonna.
A lot of people don't realize that too. Yeah. Like we don't, and that's a part of the client experience too. Because a lot of people expecting you to automatically have stuff and respond. It's like, like I'm going to wait until.
And I let the lady know. I'm like, look, the school is probably on you because they know I'm here, but they're not seeing any pictures. And I'm like, I know it's not you, but I can't deliver anything until, Papa John's ain't dropping the pizza at the door without the
bread, yeah.
So it's like, it's an exchange.
Right.
When the fair exchange is complete, that's when, I'm delivering on my end. What are you having? So is there something current or something in the past?
So no, I mean everything is teach you to learn and grow, right? A couple of things I've learned is that client experience a lot of times has to do with either communication or self perception, right? I remember shooting a branding session in Delaware years ago, and the client picked like the windiest day of the year on top of having a wig that didn't agree with her, and she hated the images. And she tried to make it seem like it was me, but it wasn't me because I'm shooting everything down. Like one of the things is like, yo, this looks like an Airbnb, and I was like, yeah, you rented it. Literally, you rented an Airbnb. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not gonna be able to change something from what it was, right? So long story short, refunded her the money, and she was like, "Yeah, don't use any of these photos." And I'm like, "Trust me, I wasn't going to use any of the photos."
Okay.
But it comes back down just to communication and just saying like, "Hey, look, like this is what you can expect. This is So I started adding things like FAQs to my website, right?
Yeah.
Detailed responses about what a package includes and what they can expect. I'm going to start to look to add like explainer videos onto the website,
right?
So that it eliminates confusion for clients, so they know exactly what they're getting and what they can expect. So just focusing really like on that communication piece for clients.
I was going to say, I know one thing that helped me in business and in personal. I was trying to figure out like what was going on. I was getting passed up for like different things, and I found a book called Maybe It's You. And when I found the book, like it kind of like pinpointed like different things you could be doing, just putting the shoe on the other foot or whatever, seeing where you could be at fault. I was gonna say because probably till about 3 years ago, I never thought I was wrong.
Oh wow!
So it would be
like, I was wrong.
So I would be like, yo, what is wrong with them? Like I know I told them.
I know what I could do.
Yeah, like, I know what I brought on my end. Like it's on them.
Facts.
And after a while, it would be like, okay, let me see where I may have been at fault in this situation because whether it was the communication, whether and there's levels to communication too. It's tone, it's method of communication, it's response time, different things like that. I'd slowly started to like see things from a different perspective.
Right.
I can also tell you about a time I did an engagement session where I don't know if you're familiar with like the Pike and Rose areas, like Bethesda. So that's probably
big money.
I mean, it's not like 90 minutes away. So me and my sister, we take the trip. And
which sister?
The older one.
Okay.
Yeah, Heaven.
Heaven?
Yeah, Heaven. I mean, because she seemed to show interest in photography a little bit. So it was like, hey, tag along with me.
Okay.
I'm going to need somebody to hold this light stand.
Okay.
So we knew a storm was coming, but our session was set for a specific time. I get there. I typically get to my sessions anywhere from like 15 to 30 minutes ahead of time. You know, if you're one time, you're late. You can't get there and set up and everything. So, you know, it's an outdoor session. It's an engagement session. So when I got into photography, engagement sessions were like my favorite thing to do. It's two people. Y'all should like each other. And we're here to celebrate
Your love.
yeah, like, you know, so I'm going to throw some music on for y'all if needed. Like, that's part of the customer experience.
Right.
You know, what do you all want to hear? I've had people dance in the woods. I've had a couple, like, just doing different stuff. And I'm kind of catching candids. I'm making, you know, some cool stuff happen. So I get there early. Well, on time, 15, 20 minutes early. And they get there 90 minutes late. Yeah, and they're giving me the updates. Hey, we're on the way. Hey, and I mean, I'm like, I'm in a nice area, so we're hanging out. We grab something to eat or whatever. And so when they get there, guess what happens?
It rains?
Of course. Yeah. So now I'm trying to place them under like different things because it's like you know, White Marsh is the avenue or whatever, but it's like nicer than that. Like it's bigger buildings, it's hotels and everything. Like so, it's a really nice area. And as the rain kind of stops, I throw them out there. I get a couple shots, bring them back under, and then I'm like, okay, y'all got an umbrella. We got a romantic umbrella shot. So, long story short, they get to arguing. She leaves him. Yeah, goes to the car. He's just kind of like looking at me. I'm like, I mean, I did get some good shots. Like, I didn't really know. I didn't necessarily know what to say.
Right.
But, like, I like these pictures.
Right.
Like, the pictures that I got, like, they look good. I send the pictures or whatever. I don't even know what happened to the couple. Like, I'm supposed to shoot their wedding and everything. So, I don't know. A couple weeks later, she's like, we need a refund for our shoot. We didn't get our whole time. And we're like, dude, you have 15, 20, like, good images that I've already sent. Like,
yeah, but your time was here to here, though.
exactly. Yeah.
Did you say that?
So, yeah. Like, and it's not me. It's, you know, my mouthpiece. Like, Megan, like, like filling the emails or whatever. Because a lot of times, like, and I think I'm better at it now, but I would be like emotion, don't say,
Nah, we riding on this.
So she was like, well, I'm gonna leave a bad review. I didn't like what you wore. You shouldn't have been wearing shorts and flip flops. I'm like, what I wear doesn't make your pictures look better or worse. And I mean, I know that probably I know we've had conversations on like how you're dressing for different events and things like that. But there's been time I'm like, I want to go and shoot in pajamas. Like, I want to be comfortable. Shouldn't I be able to be comfortable and give y'all what y'all looking for? But yeah, she's saying like I had a t-shirt and shorts and flip flops or whatever. It was August, summer day. But yeah, we were just like, man, you can leave your review, but we've done the service. You got pictures that look very nice, and and no, I never saw a bad review come up. I don't know if she was just calling our bluff or whatever, but it happens. Like,
how long ago was this?
This was probably 2018, 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was before COVID.
I wonder if they're married now.
I don't know. But yeah, she basically wanted us to sit and eat at a restaurant while the storm passed. And I was like, I've been here. Like, I've been here for a while. Like, so when the rain hit when they got there, and she was like, well, I know we got some good shots, but if we sit and eat or whatever, then maybe we can get some after. And I was just like, I still got a 90-minute drive back home. So Yeah. It's
So that's a good question. Like, what do you do in those situations?
I was
Like,
gonna
I know
ask
what
you.
you
I was
do.
gonna ask you about refunds though, because I
Oh
mean,
no. I'll give you a credit. I'm not giving a refund. I'll give you a credit. But I
okay,
mean, it's one of those things. Like, is it something that I did or something that you did?
right.
Right. I mean, but also that's built into my thing. Like, yo, any overage is at this rate, and it's one of those things where like I'll shoot and I'll say like, yo, because that's the beautiful thing about photography, right? Like everything is timestamped, so you can show somebody like, yo, if
I've
our
never used that.
oh, absolutely.
I've
I've done
never
it all the
really,
time,
I've
and
never really used
I'll
that.
put it in a separate gallery, locked, watermark, and you can see it. Like, yo, like, and I have a clause in my contract
Sheesh, I
where it'll
told you I was
say,
gonna learn something.
yeah, I have a clause in my contract that basically says like, if it's an event, like I'll like look to let you know like, hey, look, like you're booked from here to here. And granted, like there's some situations where like if it's 5 minutes, like I don't mind like
Right?
give you
Yeah.
5 minutes, stuff like that. But like I've been to
No, people
places
be
like an
wanting.
hour and a half
No,
late,
people be wanting
and
you
I'll
to
shoot,
stay.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll shoot or whatever, and I'll say like, yo, it's locked here. If you said, yo, I didn't want you to say, all right,
I
cool, bet,
mess with that. I
all right,
like
cool,
that.
bet, and I just hide it, and you'll never see those images. It's no, I mean,
Nah, I
it's not
like
a
that.
bad
It's a
thing.
business practice, man.
Yeah,
You should be compensated for.
but right, but also, but the same token, I'm not going to force a client to pay for something that they weren't anticipating either, too, right?
Okay.
So
No.
like I'm one of those like if I take that risk, like that's completely on me. Like I'm not gonna throw that on you,
Right.
but yeah. So from a client experience standpoint, I think communication is big,
Yeah.
setting expectations, contracts. But you hit on a good point about when a client expects you to do something that's outside your scope, and like how do you really
No, it's
maneuver
tough
that?
because I'm a giver. Like,
And I think, and that's the
yeah,
difficult thing. People know that about us that we're givers, and we're naturally going to try to find a solution.
yeah,
And at times it's easy, but at times it's hard, right? It's hard because no matter what we do, it might seem like that they're not appreciative or like want to like try to work with us on the solution. So shout out to those creatives out there that try to focus on customer service.
yeah.
What are some pieces of advice that you would have for business owners or photographers that are dealing with clients who maybe, I guess, more on the challenging side?
I mean, I think we kind of touched. Like, I think the communication is like the biggest point. Like, problem solving. What is it that
Find the
you,
root of the
yeah,
problem.
what is it that is like making you
Bothering.
upset about the situation,
Right.
and what is the goal?
Right.
Like, what do you expect me to do from where we are right now? I think like I know I have brought up like the coaches like giving like the parents my number. I'm like, I don't know if I send like an email like to the coaches like, hey, this is what you can let. I might do that. This is what you can let your parents know.
FAQ. Yeah. What's
Um,
appropriate and what's not appropriate, too, right?
I appreciate that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
If
Thank
you put
you.
an FAQ about what to expect and
Yeah.
expectations, like and that's a Chat GBT. So make sure you look out for our next Chat GBT course. But you can create like a FAQs of
Right.
most commonly asked questions on sports photography,
Yeah.
youth
The
sessions.
experience,
Yeah, yeah.
like timeline and things
What to
like that.
expect.
Yeah.
This is how we communicate. What are best forms of communication, things of
Right.
that nature.
Okay.
So no, so I think that's probably the biggest and not one of the biggest things. Putting yourself in the client's shoes to find out what's important. So going back to the one client, right? Like, so that whole situation might not have been you from the jump, right? Like they might just be one of those types to try to get everything they can out of a situation. It might already just been having a bad day. It might have been a money situation too. Like I've had a client, I had a wedding client who said or shared that basically like we didn't know like we were doing. It was Drix and I like shooting an event, and they said Drix can't shoot and he must be new and
Right.
blah
Yeah.
blah
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
Not
Right.
realizing Drix been shooting longer than me, but but it was just a situation about how they probably just felt in that moment, and then we're the easiest target. So giving people grace, realizing everything they're going through is not necessarily directed at you, and just be the
Man,
light that God calls you to
but
be in that situation.
but what's the cutoff though? Like, when is it
When
that
it gets
they're just
disrespectful,
okay? Because
like
like,
when there's a lack of respect, like if you have a dialogue communication and it really is a communication, like I'll talk with you all day about it, right? But
okay,
like when it goes to threats and things of that nature, then that's when the communication just has to see. So I like what you said, like yo, if that's the route you want to take, like that's fine.
Yeah, and it's like scary water because it's like, dude, I don't want a bad review, but I'm also
But you're human, and I think like if you respond back to the review like, "Hey, I'm sorry that you felt like this," and I respond back, "Hey, I'm sorry you felt like this,"
right.
but could have been the fact that you showed up an hour and a half late to your session. So then when people are reading it, they're like, "Oh shoot, like this
Yeah,
is," and then once again, you have the proof, you have a timestamp from that photo,
yeah,
and in the calendar, save invite of when it was supposed to start. There,
yeah.
so
Okay, yeah. I
yeah,
appreciate this
yeah,
counseling session,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
Cause
yeah.
I've never really considered that part. Like I know when I shoot events, sometimes I'm like, all right, I know I shot my first shot. Now this
I'm
is
in the
what my last
mood.
shot. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is my last shot. But never really like in a portrait
I
session
look,
situation.
I look
Um,
all of
and
the time.
I think the other thing I may need to start to do is letting clients know not only am I showing up early, they probably should too.
I
If
don't
you're
want them to
showing
show up
up,
early.
huh?
Because then if they show up super early, then you got to
But
show up
this is
even
the thing
earlier.
though. So a lot of times I feel like people show up and they're not camera ready.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
So
it's
if you know you're not going to be ready, show up early so that you
right.
can be ready to start on time. Yeah, I've had
Yeah.
clients that show up at 11, not ready, and then want to start shooting
Well,
at like
I
11:15,
mean, because
11:30.
like, all right, you're saying you stack. You gotta have a hard cutoff at some
Oh,
point. Like
facts.
if
And I
you
say, yeah, and
stacking
that's
and it's like, well, I deserve my hour. I paid for an hour.
no, you pay
Not
for a
if
time
you
slot. I say you pay for, here's your, I always leave with that. It's not that you pay for this time slot. If anything is different, then
yeah. So it's
yeah,
I
no,
think
I
I
see.
it's a big communication thing.
Yeah,
Like
communication. So maybe that's another episode we talk about,
okay,
like best forms of communication, how to communicate. And if you are a business owner or photographer out there that has ideas and things that you want to have covered or talked about on the podcast, make sure you drop a comment below. We would love to talk about topics that are going to help push and elevate your business. Once again, this is Austin, and that's Kevin for AK No Clue podcast. Signing out. Peace.